Hello viewers, Flash Motorsport here and welcome to Spa. Now I've come back to this track again as I sort of have to redeem myself from the last pitiful race I did that went completely wrong and I totally distracted myself. So to redeem myself I've decided to qualify in this race, see if I can get a better starting point on the grid and, well, overall then a better finish. So as we come down past start finish line, looking out for the last post, they are just braking before the 50 board, down to second gear, clip the apex and power back on. Flat out right down into Eau Rouge. Now I have got soft tyres on and reduced fuel. So I've got 3 laps of fuel, but I don't think the tyres are going to last 3 laps. Spa's quite hard on tyres. So we come flat out through Eau Rouge. I do let off just a bit here. I'm not all that confident to keep my toe right in it. I've done it once and it was a brave move, I must say. Keep flat out down the Camel Straight, keep on your left hand side and look out for the 100 board. There you go, there's 200, 100, brake at the 100 board and down to third gear. Clip the apex on your right hand side and then let it glide over onto your left hand side. Keep to your left here and bring it over onto your right while still in third gear. I do slide a little bit here, I have no rear downforce and the tyres are still a little bit cold. Keep left, braking down the third gear, try and clip the apex and on your curb on the right hand side there's that last blue bit that should power on point to power back on. You're halfway around the turn, go up to fourth gear, let it coast around this final corner here and then power back on. Now keep an eye on your left hand side, the next braking point is where the curb starts on your left hand side now. You can coast it around about 90 miles per hour, maybe a little bit faster, and as soon as you're around that first curve, power back on and keep your foot down. You can take this corner I've just done flat out. Braking again, just as the curb starts on the left hand side. Slowing down, fourth gear. I'm on the soft tyres, usually on the mediums, I'm down to third gear. And you can take it in third gear on hard tyres as well. Keep to your left, your braking point, rub this in the curb and bring it over to the outside curb. Now stay on this outside curve here and you can take this next corner here flat out. Now you may notice that they're joining the track, don't worry, they're going to ghost out because we're in qualify, so their position does not affect us in any way whatsoever. Keep to your right hand side, try and rub that outer white line and then let off for this little bit here. There we go. I haven't mastered taking it flat out and I don't know if you can. Look to our left, 100 meter board, start braking down to second gear. I could have braked a little bit later. I forget I'm on soft tyres. And we managed to slide it around those next 2 corners. Quite impressively, I might add. That will give us a lap time of 2:36.936. Do go for a second lap and I managed to get a 2:34.564. As everybody finishes joining and qualifying, I start in P6, which is not a bad place I don't think. I was only a few seconds off P1 and as you can see I could have done much better in my qualifying laps. As we come down the first corner I decided to take it as wide as I can, try and avoid as lot of this carnage that we are being a part of. Now you may notice I've chosen to go with the old strat I did before, which is hard tyres. I can get about 4 laps on hard tyres before they start wearing and then I'll go into softs to try and make a bit of time up there. Where most of the people on this grid, I think, besides that Peugeot in front of me, everybody else is on mediums. As you can see I am being pushed around a little bit. There's 3 people behind and they want to be in front of me. So I took in behind this Peugeot, let them see if they want to overtake, let them overtake. This next corner is going to be a bit of a mess anyway. As you can see, Bovine Warrior does a dive bomb and we managed to keep our position. I'm surprised, I don't think he gets a penalty for that one. I don't see anything on the top right. So they got away with that one, no penalty ensued. Lucky for them. And we only lose 1 place overall. But you must remember, me and the Peugeot in front are on hard tyres and there's been no real rubbering in on this track. So this is why I quite like the hard tyre strategy. Over the course of 2 or 3 laps, the hard tyres start to come in on their own, whilst the medium tyres start to wear off. Due to the rubbering effects on Forza Motorsport, by the time I get to the 3rd or 4th lap, the hard tyres are actually quite grippy. So the idea does come into effect long term and it does work out quite well. But I'm keeping behind this Peugeot. I'm not going to try and force myself an overtake. I'd rather be in the race and be in one piece and not have a penalty than put myself in a position where I can get myself taken out or be taken out. The idea is, like I say, I'm on the hard tyres for the long-term gains, not the short-term overtakes. But I am overdriving the vehicle right now, so I am sliding out and I do lose myself a position, especially to these two here, the two G920 MGs. Luckily enough, Nizzo 2001 gave me a little nudge saying, come on buddy, you can go a lot faster than that, and they are absolutely right, I can go, and that nudge has benefited me a position. So I go defensive, go to the right hand side, let off for this corner, and then power back on, and I just make it within an inch of my pixel life not to not get a penalty. We're braking at the 100 board. I have to brake earlier than everybody else. I'm on hard tyres, and G920 comes and takes the place. This corner becomes a bit bumpy shovey, but as you can see in the rear view mirror behind me, that is a lot of cars that are behind. So I have to up my game a little bit here. I do not want to be anywhere near that pack behind me, but I get outbraked by G920 MG, and thankfully I didn't put them in a position where they would have got rammed off track. So sorry about that, buddy. It was a mistake on my part. As you can see now, I'm quite up behind them. I do let off for this little bit here. They are on a better tyres than I am, and they will out-turn me here. And I don't want to be caught out by trying to compete or keep up with the flow of them like I was on the previous race. As we go through your breast down the Camel Straight, things get a lot more interesting. The blue MG behind disappears off my rearview mirror, and I don't want to look back and mess up, so I move to the left and let them have that position. I'll just let everybody have it. I'm not arguing when I can get one lap ahead of them further down the line and have the better tyres. Like I say, the idea of this race is not to beat them in pure brute force, is to beat them by being quicker overall throughout the race. I may be down in P10, but I've only lost 4 places up to now. Well, actually now I'm in P9. As you can see, everybody's now starting to fight in front of me, so this is where I'm going to be able to slip in and take those positions back. Also, these tyres are now warmed up. There's been a little bit of rubber in it, so I also benefit on grip. I do get shunted from behind, go off track, but luckily enough I don't get a penalty for it. The fog is setting in, the distance view on the track is becoming shorter and shorter, but 2 cars in my rear are gaining on me, so I do start to drive a bit more defensively, try and block them from overtaking me, and as you can see, they've backed off a good little bit, and I'm actually catching up to the cars in front due to them fighting quite a lot for their positions. P1 on the other hand is so far ahead, I think they can pull over and have a cup of tea. 19 seconds ahead. There's no chance I would ever be able to make that time back, even if I had soft tyres from beginning to the end. I don't think. Maybe if I'm lucky. The issue we're having right now is this mid-pack we're a part of are battling a little bit too aggressively, a little bit too much for that one position, where at this point of the track and time, people should be more working with each other, try and gain that time back rather than work against each other and fight like they do in this corner here. A bit of door banging, bit off the trackishness. I wonder if that blue MG was on soft tyres, seeing that they've gone into the pit now. That's 2 laps, so they must have been on soft tyres. But as we come down 3 abreast, down the start of finish line, I've got the inside line for the next corner here. I don't outbrake myself, I take it as tight as I can and as deep and power on as early as possible. You can see my offside front tyre was getting hot. I was spinning it, I wanted to be the first one out of that corner. I have a little quick look around, see who's around me, nobody. So I am the front of this pack here. I wonder where that Audi went. But I let off in this corner, take it on the grass and power on early again. I keep to my left, let the Peugeot overtake. That Peugeot and the MG are on par with each other, but he's going to have the slipstream. He's going to be able to beat me to this next corner. There's no point defending when they're going to be faster. But surprisingly, the Peugeot tucks in behind me. So maybe trying to get the last little bit of slipstream. Yeah, they're still taking the inside of the corner. That's not a problem. These hard tyres are starting to come in on their own. And I end up following the Peugeot. Skipping ahead to lap 4. Everybody else has gone to the pits. As you can see, I'm now in P4 position. Tyres are doing okay. They're not the best at the moment. They are starting to wear a little bit. But without having all the cars around me to fight, I start making a good bit of time back. As you can see, I'm already 1 second ahead of my fastest split, and the Peugeot behind is a bit quicker than I am. So I take this corner a little bit slow, a little bit wider, keep it out, let them have the inner position, and then I can... Oh, not Peugeot, it was an MG. That was my mistake. But I let them have that position, then I can follow them and get the slipstream on this back half of the track, the fast bit. I'm not too worried about losing too much. I want to use this clean bit of open air that I have to try and gain back a bit of time. These hard tyres are starting to wear a little bit. They're not as strong as they were before. I'm probably just on the limit edge of them becoming a minor wear. So I do rub the grass and try and keep the car on the inside as much as I can without sliding off too much. It does cost me time, but I'm still ahead on my fastest split, and to me that's what matters more, that I am still the fastest on the lap. Keeping to the outside. Oh yeah, there we go, minor wear on the front near side tyre. Let off for this corner here and then power back on as soon as I can. Looking out for the 100 board on my left hand side. There it is, braking just after the 100 board, taking a chance here. Second gear, and for some reason every time you go to the pit, there you go, got an off track by going into the pit. Fair enough, that's the only time I've seen in Forza that's going into the pits or using the exit pit lane gives you a warning for an off track. Usually it's a little cut through, but I skip fuel in, put soft tyres on, and the pit crew do an amazing job as 2.717 seconds. As we leave the pit, I'm inside the Peugeot, and I hope they don't mind. As we get the pit exit, I forget to change gear, which gives the Peugeot that little boost ahead that they needed. I thought it would have gone into second gear for me. Lesson learnt there. But I come out of the pits in P9 and on soft tyres, so I benefit massively. And that Peugeot isn't too far ahead. Well, not anymore than not. A bit of chaos ensued. Peugeot slipping all over the place, and that is my time to shine. Luckily enough, they don't defend that position, so thank you to the Peugeot driver, and that's a position gain for me. Now I'm in P7, coming down the Camel Straight, looking out for the 100 board, braking down the third gear, and don't forget I can take these corners much faster now. I'm in on the soft tyres. The back end is a little bit loose. The rear tyres are still a little bit cold, but we are making massive progress. As we start the final lap, I have managed to make quite a bit of gap from the car behind. 2 seconds from the car behind. These soft tyres are incredible. We are gaining on P6 as well. They're only 2 seconds ahead. Now, as we go down Eau Rouge, I'm hoping that being on soft tyres will gain that second I'm looking for. So we'll go through Eau Rouge. They have rubbed the grass just like I have, and I keep my foot just about in it. I still bottle it a little bit, but we are already 0.6 seconds ahead of my fastest time already. So that in itself is a massive gain. We're 1.5 seconds away from P6 and 2.8 seconds away, 2.9 from P8. These gains are brilliant. Back end comes sliding around beautifully actually. But I don't come out of this corner the fastest as I should have. But I do gain a little bit of time on the car in front. There we are, 1.5 seconds, and I'm 1.5 seconds better than my best already. 1.5 seconds is absolutely brilliant, and we're not even halfway through the track. I must bear in mind that I am on the soft tyres and try not to scrub them so much. I don't want to get halfway through this lap and the minor warning comes up. I've already eaten a good bit of them up to now. I don't want to destroy them going through this lap trying to gain a position. I do go off track here by a pixel and I get a penalty. 0.5 seconds, which is really annoying. But we are making a bit of time up on the P6 position. We are now 0.8 seconds behind them. All I need to do now is on this back straight is overtake them and get half a second in front. It's a long feat, but I'm sure I might be able to pull it off if I plan this out right. Fuel warnings come up, 1 lap remaining, perfect timing. I have a much quicker exit out of this back corner and we decide to take a position. I go to the left hand side, they do not defend it, which is quite surprising really. Wow, that car in front of us twisted tapes is a 6.4 second, 9.65 second penalty. Wow, that is a lot. God blimey. Well, I'm not going to gain on that because I'm 13 seconds behind them, which is annoying. Coming to this final 2 corners, Peugeot's just behind me. I give him space until I see he didn't need it. tyres wear out on this final corner, and we take P5. Luckily enough, P6 has also a 1 second penalty, so P5 gained, P5 won, and from qualified to now, I am up by 1 position. Yes. Next race is at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I decided not to qualify for this race. I start at the back of the pack because that's usually what I do anyway. Start off the race. We are in P14 and I'm on hard tyres again. This is a long race, 10 laps, and Indianapolis, from my practicing, is quite brutal on the tyres. So in my infinite wisdom, I decided to go for hard tyres. And right now, down the straight, we're making a few places. We're in P10. I get shunted and take up the inside of the corner. Luckily enough, I don't get a penalty anywhere, and I'm in P8 position already. Go me, I made up quite a few spaces within the first straight. Coming down here on your right hand side, I'll take it quite slow, way too slow than what I should have done. I was more concerned about the Honda being on my left hand side when they really wasn't too close to my left hand side. Coming down this back bit here, I'm much quicker than everybody else. I've changed the gear ratio, so I have a much quicker acceleration over final top speed. Braking out the 100 board, down the second gear, I overshoot myself a little bit, and so does the Honda behind. He really overshoots. He comes in gliding sideways, proper majestic, looking gorgeous. But that doesn't benefit them in any way besides increasing the gap for me, which is thankful for them. The Audi in my rear is catching up to me, and I want to try and get past this Audi in front of me here, but I could say everybody is on medium tyres in this race, while I'm on the hards. Hopefully, like my previous strategy, I benefit again in the latter half of this race. These corners are quite tight, are quite slow, so when you're coming out the corners you do have a higher chance of likelihood of wheel spin. So having harder tyres, yeah, I might have more wheel spin, but I don't shred my tyres as much as medium sets. Coming over the start and finish line, I'm trying to catch up the slipstream of P6, the 0.6 seconds. Making a bit of time here, looking out for the 150 board, braking, down to third gear, and carnage ensues. Go down to second gear, turn left, and more carnage ensues. That was so close. That was so close. That was lucky. The third gear to your right side, clip the apex, power back on. Honda is in front. I'm no faster than the Honda. Keep your foot down over the curbs. You can clip them, you can skip them. Your choice, your preference. I just ride over them, try and keep the car as straight as possible. Try and get the speed up. Looking out for the 150 board on the right hand side. Brake and down to second gear. Rub this in the curb. There we go. You don't get a penalty for track warnings, nothing like that. So you might as well use the curb to your benefit to try and bring the car over. Over onto the grass a little bit. And turn over to the right. This final corner here is not my strong point. I need to improve on that one. I don't seem to have the best line in there. The car's weight creates a bit of understeer, slopping around a bit too much, where I could straighten myself up a little bit earlier and take that final corner better. Honda goes just a little bit too wide here, so I gain up a bit of time there. I decided to start looking around where I can overtake. They go off track and onto the grass, and that's my position gained. Up into P5. Coming back down the start finish line. I'm miles away from the car in front. Satan's Reverence in P4. But I have the track really to myself now. P6 is 2 seconds behind me. Braking at 100, just after the 150 board. Down to third gear, over the curb. Slide to your left, down to second gear. And power back on. Coming over to your right hand side. I brake here for some reason. I keep forgetting that this is the turn you need to brake for, not that one. But powering back on, I don't lose too much. It was half a second I've lost, but with the power of this MG, I can gain that time back up by pulling away. As you see, I'm 1.5 seconds away now. Look over to your right hand side again, braking just after the 150 board. Now no cars around, I can take it a bit quicker down to third gear. I just missed that corner of the curb, but like I say, the track is quite wide. I rub over these two curves, trying to keep the car more straight than I usually do. Hang it more to my left and then back over to the right. Like I say, you are left, right. So the car is quite unsettled. flat out on this back bit here. Now looking on the left hand side, there is a white tent. Break the white tent down to second gear, coast it in. You can do it in third gear as well, whichever you prefer. I thought I'd try it out in second gear this time around. Power back on, and again back on the final straight for the start and finish line. As we come out the pits for the start of lap 9, I would have gone in lap 8, but I forgot to pit, didn't I? Sounds about right for me. We are on the soft tyres. The hard tyres were worn. They went down to moderate wear, but I didn't lose too much position wise. You can see these new tyres are a bit cold, but I'm trying to make sure that I don't get P5 catching up to me. I'm in P4 at the minute. Elite 25 is in P5. He's 1.5 seconds behind me. So as we come down to the right hand side, looking out for 150 board, braking down to third gear, over the curb. I take it a bit more cautiously than I could do. I could have gone a lot quicker, but I'd rather be more cautious and finish in the position I'm in than overdrive the car and lose my position. As you can see, I'm 1.8 seconds, 1.9 now, 2 seconds ahead of them. But we are catching up to a car in front now. P3 is 13.7 seconds ahead, so that can't be P3. So I presume I am lapping. Yeah, they ghosted. I'm lapping the car. I'm quite surprised they picked the Golf, because the Golf is not as powerful as it once was, and I think their tyres are dead, seeing though they went off track in that final corner there. They might be just limping it on. There's no point going to the pits now. We're about to start our final lap. Elite 25 is now 3.2 seconds behind. So hopefully, as long as I don't mess up, we keep this position. Braking at just after the 150 board. Down to third gear, over the curb. That was a bit close, a bit too early turning. But lucky enough, we don't go over and get a track penalty. I take this corner much better. Rub the curb on the inside, a bit too much. But come out, power on, and try and keep the car as straight as possible. Flat out down this final bit, and 1 second ahead on my best time. It's a good lap up to now. Looking out for the 150 board on the right hand side, and then braking down to third gear. Over the curb, take it wide, power on a little bit, and over these next 2 curbs again. Get the back end out to just a little bit, nice little step out. Try and bring the car in, and I just go into the grass here. And lucky enough, again, I don't get a penalty. First place has just gone over the finish line. Lucky for them, they are 32 seconds ahead of me, which is quite a lot. But as long as I keep my cool, I'm 4 seconds ahead of P5. This position is mine, and I've won. Well, I haven't won the race, but I'm not down the pack. Considering I started from the back and now I'm in P4, I say overall that was a very good race. So thank you for watching. I shall see you all next time. Bye.